Welcome to the Adult Education Statewide webinar for January 2018. Good morning and Happy New Year. I am Jerry Hafner of Maryland, and the Adult Education team are here with us this morning. The slides are advancing a little slow, so we apologize for that. But let's start the new year with a very special story about Dawn. And I also have some other special stories that I would like to share with you this morning. Dawn always wanted a career to better support her family. At age 31, she attended adult education classes at Walker Career Center on the east side in Indianapolis. She earned a high school equivalency, completed a nursing assistance class, passed a licensing exam, and is now employed in healthcare. She's also enrolled in Adult Education's Work Indiana Medical Assistance Program. And as you sort of look at the copy, the information about Dawn to the side of her picture, you can see how the thread of funding is being used to help Dawn's dream come true. But she's not done yet. Her goal is to become a registered nurse. Let's turn to another very special story, a little bit further south. This story is about Destiny. Destiny's future was less than bright. I let my life truly hit rock bottom. At the age of 15, I was homeless, she said. I had trouble with drug and alcohol use. I was always on probation, a constant runaway. The State Department of Child Services was always involved, she said. But her life took a turn for the better when she entered a transitional housing program for homeless youth. She also, at the same time, started attending adult education classes in Bloomington. Late last year, she was recognized by Broadview Learning Center for earning an HSC, as well as being inducted into the National Adult Education Honor Society. How special. Some more information about Destiny. The flexibility of the adult education program at Broadview allowed her, as I said earlier, to earn her HSC while working at Wendy's. Now she plans to pursue an associate's degree in social work at Ivy Tech Community College. Going back to school wasn't easy, but Destiny told the commencement audience there gathered to honor the graduates it was well worth it. I never thought I'd get this far, she said, and now I can't wait to see what the future holds. Some parting advice from Destiny. Take the time to go back to school. Finish what you started. Let's come back to Indianapolis and let's step into a career. Adult education providers are trying some very innovative programming around integrated education and training, or IET as we know it. Over on the west side this time at MSD Wayne Township Adult Education, they are advertising that in just 3 to 12 weeks, students can complete industry-recognized credentials in 4 different income-generating sectors. Furthermore, Wayne Township is offering a number of programs, and the one that you see on your screen is called Parapro with Purpose. A number of school districts across Indiana have indicated there is a severe shortage of teacher aides. The Wayne School District took matters into its own hands, and through adult education, the school's district's HR director hosted the training for our adult education students. 15 students completed the training, 13 were credentialed, And I know as a former local program director, I have given the parapro test before, and I know it's difficult for most individuals to walk off the street and pass this without any review. Plus, as you can see on the screen, in Wayne Township, 54% of the students were employed within 2 weeks. Here is Wayne Township's Microsoft Office advertisement. I might note that the HR department is reviewing a proposal to have the next class participate in a field experience tailored to school secretaries. Now, I want to update some of the information on the slide. It talks about October's class, 14 enrolled, 12 completed, but overall, to sort of update the slide, there have been in all their classes, the Microsoft classes, approximately 30 enrolled and 12 credentialed since the program year started. How is Wayne Township getting the word out about IETs? They are using their own school corporation as a powerful promotional partner. According to Adult Education Director Christy McIntyre, they are blasting social media with news about IET opportunities and utilizing robo-messaging. The result so far has been outstanding. More than 1,000 views on social media and over 100 students who have participated in classes. These are great stories of great achievements, and I think everyone in the room and everyone out there in adult education would say this: we don't toot our own horn enough for adult education. So I'm asking all of our adult education coordinators to contact every program in their region to begin gathering up success stories. These can be of students, partnerships, especially with businesses, and to submit these over the next 2 to 3 weeks to me. We want a bank of stories to use. The stories can be less than a page to start, with some quotes from businesses, from students that you have worked with, along with pictures. It doesn't have to be fancy. We'll do the rest. But everyone has a dream. Everyone has a story. And these stories will be used in a variety of formats and distributed across the state to inform everyone about the good work that we're doing in adult education. Speaking of IETs, we have had more than 100 IET classes approved so far this year through January 8th, with 516 enrollments. I want to turn to assessments. We have submitted for approval a new assessment policy to the U.S. Department of Education, the Office of Career, Technical, and Adult Education. While this draft policy is not significantly different from the current policy that we're operating under for this program year, we will require that all providers begin using TABE 11 and 12 on July 1, 2018 for the 2018-2019 program year. Many other states are following this same procedure, beginning with a new program year and beginning using TABE 11 and 12. I also want to let you know that in the policy that has been submitted to the U.S. Department of Education, that TABE 9 and 10 assessments will not carry over after June 30th, 2018. So everyone will have to be reassessed using TABE 11 and 12. The new TABE 11 and 12 consists of 5 test levels and a locator. TABE, as it says in our current policy and as it says in our proposed policy that we have submitted, that it should be taken online or at a very last resort in paper and pencil format. I will tell you this, that level L, the literacy level, is still only available even with TABE 11 and 12 as paper-based. Some changes with TABE 11 and 12 to sort of review some information with you. The TABE 11 and 12 locator will be longer in length and time to better predict placement. Math will be one assessment. There will no longer be a separate section for applied math and computation. There is also a slight change to the scaled scores. The range will be from 300 to 800 for all tests. Also, to sort of update you as far as policies are concerned, we also have in the hopper changes or updates to our distance education and data collection and reporting policies that we'll be releasing sometime very soon. I will tell you this, there are not significant changes to these policies from the ones that we're operating under this current program year. Turning to the National Reporting System for Adult Education, as all of you know, the NRS is the bedrock of who we are and how we perform as a system. And again, the U.S. Department of Education, the Office of Career, Technical, and Adult Education, along with the contractor, AIR, which is the American Institutes for Research, they have updated at a new website, which you have on your screen, training tools, online courses, and webinars. If you go to that website, you'll find all this information. I think it will be very useful to share with your staff and have them look at this information and take some of the courses, look at some of the webinars. You will also find there are reports to Congress and state snapshots that help tell our stories. You see what's being submitted to Congress. You see the information about what other states are doing with their adult education program. Task testing. DRC has been hosting this week and last week webinars for new forms J, K, and L. The last computer-based testing administration, which is the first entry up there, actually started this morning at 10 o'clock when we started our webinar. There will be two other trainings this week on Thursday and Friday. They deal with accommodations and the return of task materials. And since we are covering assessments, I want to continually remind you that Indiana Career Explorer, or ICE, is required for most students within the first 12 hours. Well, the first couple weeks in January has been very, very, very cold, especially since I came back from the holidays from Florida. And when you're stuck inside, the creative juices begin to flow. And here's something that I thought was just hilarious, and I wanted to share with you from the South Bend Community Schools Adult Education Program. There were once a table named 4. We now paid attention much more. Adult education is the best. We always post tests. Never forget about Table 4. Speaking of Table 4, here are the state results for this program year to date. The table was run last week, and column 8 shows that nearly 51% of the students to date have achieved one or more academic gains. As I told the AECs last month, this is the highest percentage that we've ever achieved in Indiana at this point in the program year. Our goal is 60%, and I told the AECs I believe we will easily break our goal by year's end. Dan will talk more about Table 4 and this table that you have in front of you, which is Table 4, in a few minutes. But Maryland and I, along with the entire adult education staff, thank you for your hard work and the continuous improvement that you're making every day in your programs. Now, Table 4 has a lot of information, and I like to summarize some of that by program year to see where we're at. And if you look at EFL gain, you see that we're at almost 51%. If you look at 2015, program year 2015-16, as well as 2014 and 15 at 49%. We're halfway through the year. We're already at 51%. Again, thank you for everything that you're doing to ensure that students show academic gain. Wanted to make you aware of a proposal that you may want to take a look at. It's from the Labor Institute for Training. There is a website on your screen and contact information for Kathy Clayton. But you can look at this. The deadline for proposals is this coming, actually January 19th, Friday, January 19th. But if you're interested in this and participating in this, there is a proposal process. You can go to the website, look at the information. There's also Kathy Clayton's email address and telephone number if you want additional information. Labor Institute for Training. In early February, early next month, we will get out to you grant continuations for next year, not only for the adult education grant, but also the IELCE grant as well. The one thing that I cannot stress enough, we said in the ABE grant that funding in successive grant years will include grantee program performance, and we will include, as we promised, program performance and allocations related to that. But please make sure, as the box says on the top of your screen, make sure that you have all your data in by January 16th. January 16th. You're supposed to have the data entered by policy by the 10th of the consecutive month. But if you still have outcome information that you have not gotten into enters, please have that done by January 16th. Going to have Scott come up, and he's got some information about quarterly reports. Scott?
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to us. I have a brief update on the second quarter quarterly reports. It's just about time for these to be released. So some important things that I thought that we should cover, or that I should remind you of, is that the ABE and the IELCE quarterly reports are part of the ABE and IELCE monitoring process. So you should remember to fill out the quarterly reports completely and thoroughly. Give us well thought out answers. The first set of quarterly reports, it was a mixed bag. We had some very good answers from some programs, and from a few other programs, it seemed like the answers were just kind of dialed in. There are some content changes on the new quarterly report document. As we told you at the very beginning of the process, when we let you know that the quarterly reports would be part of the monitoring process this year, Each quarterly report you should expect to be slightly different than the previous quarterly report. So the new quarterly report that you're about ready to see, it will have questions related specifically to, it will have some demographic questions like the first quarterly report did, but it will focus on IET and your program outreach. And please remember that even if you do not have an IET or you're not receiving IET funding, you need to answer the questions in the IET section. So don't just skip over that section because you think, I don't have an IET, so this doesn't apply to me. There are questions in that section that do apply directly to you. And then the last thing that I'll say regarding the content is, please remember that the very last section is for fiscal agents only. That means if you are not a fiscal agent who is passing through funding to a subgrantee, you do not need to answer the questions in the very last section titled fiscal agent. So, logistical information about the second quarterly report. We should have that out to you this Friday, which is the 12th. We are giving you until the end of the day, so 5 p.m. Eastern time on the 31st. I believe that's a Tuesday. Wednesday. Wednesday to turn that in. If you have any questions, as always, you can send them to me, Scott, or you can send them to Donna. One of us will get back to you. There is one thing that I think I'm forgetting. Maybe not. Oh, yes. So please submit these to the adult education inbox. Last time, not all of them made it to the adult education inbox. Some of them made it directly to me. It's just easier from a logistical standpoint if you send them all to the adult ed inbox, which is adulted@dwd.in.gov. And that is all I have for you, unless there's any questions.
We have a question about page 9.
Jerry can answer that one for you. I believe the question has to do about the return of materials to DRC. It is my understanding that they will take back those materials 9 and 10 for new materials 11 and 12 if you have purchased those. But what you really need to do is get confirmation of that, and you need to contact our TABE representative. She is Diana Leverson. Her telephone number is area code 317-389-0160. Again, Diana Leverson, area code 317-389-0160. Her email address is dleverson@datarecognitioncorp.com, and it's DLEVISON@datarecognitioncorp.com.
We will try to include that email in the follow-up email as well.
We also have another question that was in. We need to complete the quarterly report that will be due today.
The quarterly report that's due today, I believe you're speaking about the PD quarterly report. Those are two separate things, and unless something has changed, is Dan here?
I'm here.
Dan, can you answer that question? Do they need to complete it today? I assume the answer is yes, but I thought...
The due date's today, and they are coming in, so please send them in as soon as possible.
So yeah, they're two separate documents. I know it's a bit confusing. One thing that we have tried to do with the ABE and the IELCE quarterly report is eliminate your duplication of effort. So we've dropped questions that you will have already answered as part of your PD quarterly report. That way you don't have to basically do the same work twice. Both quarterly reports are important. Both of them are part of the monitoring process. Both need to be completed. Any other questions? Okay, then I will hand this back over to Jerry.
Thank you very much, Scott. You heard just a few seconds ago from Dan, and Dan's going to provide an update on professional development and some upcoming meetings that we have scheduled for next month. Dan?
Good afternoon. I am sitting in for Marva today, and Marva can't be here because she had a granddaughter named Sadie Isabel. She was born this past Saturday at 6:05. She may be on this phone call, but we won't hold it against her if she decides that she wants to spend time with her daughter and granddaughter. On the slide you see up here, we're giving the dates as the PDFs and the directors around the state have already gotten this information. We're going to be having 2 sessions this second go-around, and they're going to be February 9th and 23rd. They're going to be at Highlander Park. You'll notice that we've chosen the regions, and they were chosen to come at certain times for a purpose. The first meeting with the regions you see are those regions that are very large. They have sub-grantees. They cover, in some cases, vast expanses of territory. Therefore, and then those coming on February 23rd are single fiscal agents. So even though our students are very similar, our programs are not. So we really wanted programs that had similar makeups and similar maybe strengths and barriers types of things to be able to work together. So this is the reasoning why we have separated particular regions. Next one. Okay, professional development. I really want to start by just simply making a statement. Actually, it's a statement that Marpa sent out this past month to the PDFs and the directors, because as Scott mentioned earlier, we are getting the PDF directors reports. We got some in early. Thank you for those. Marva is going with a fine-tooth comb through all the monthly PDF reports, looking at the director reports, and then also going back to the your initial plans to see where everyone is and looking at the tables. And this is what Marva sent out. Quote, "We are seeing significant improvement in many programs, regions, as a result of the PDF network and the work you are all doing. What is most impressive is the tracking follow-up processes that are being put into place. I think it's showing in Table 4 and in our enrollment numbers. Many of you have stepped outside your comfort zones to implement change, and while difficult, I think your programs and state are reaping the rewards. The most important thing is that more student lives are being changed, and they are reaping the rewards of your hard work. Thank you on their behalf. After all, they are why we do this. Keep doing what you're doing. It matters." And I think that ties in very closely with, obviously, what Jerry said earlier about that we're at already almost 51% of the state. There's been incredible things happening, and as we start getting more information in, you're going to be getting feedback directly from Marva, because we want you to know that we are going through all the information you're submitting. We're seeing incredible best practices, as you have already seen in some of these slides, looking at IETs, and this whole concept of doing follow-up, which becomes so important, and retaining our students and so forth. So you will be getting additional information and feedback on your the information you've been sending. These are some pictures. We had a number of regions. Regions 1, I think 4, and 3 had really large kickoffs where they brought all their staff in from all around the region, which is quite a feat to do when you're covering such a large area. And this was one out of Region 1. I was not able to attend this one, unfortunately, because I was attending Region 3's professional development event on the same day. But these are some photographs. And actually, Marilyn was there. Would you like to say anything about the event, Marilyn? No. She was there. She's raising her hand because she was presenting on IETs. But from what we read in the director's report, which Kitty sent out, thank you so much, and the PDF reports, it was very, very successful, as well as what we heard back from Region 3 and Region 4. I think that's it. Another slide? Nope.
Thank you very much, Dan. Matt and Brent are here, as well as Jack, to provide a Inters update. So,
good morning, everyone. I am Matt, as Jerry just said. So, many of you have gotten an email from Dan to look at your Table 3 and your scorecard. We had some issues with both of those reports that we have worked on this week. That Table 3 is now complete and done. And when we send out, or if you run Table 3 or have questions on how to actually count your IETs from Table 3, I can show you exactly how to do that. We are updating the scorecard so that you can see what performance points you're getting. I'm not sure if it's live today with the changes we have made, but basically when you run it now, instead of saying all of the numbers in one column, we added an additional column that shows you the points and how many points you earn per row. So for enrollments, that's 1 point per enrollment, and then you get a subtotal, and then you get the total points at the end. That will be by program. We did not add those columns to the region or the state, but you can see exactly where your points are at on that report. Table 3, the biggest note on Table 3, the 4 categories at the bottom of the report for ELL learners. The second to last, ELICE, will always be 0 because of the subcategory being the reported IELCE enrollments. The feds put all 4 of those categories on there and titled them the exact same, but the way the report's going to work, the bottom number, the last number, are your IELCE enrollments. If you are a grantee of IELCE and have an approved IELCE course, those students for you will show up there. So, do we have any questions on the scorecard or Table 3? Other updates, I'm going to get some training dates out. I've been asked about that. I found out that we still have the Eastside Lab to use until June. So I will get training dates out to the field when we get those going. And that's all I have.
thank you very much, Matt. Nathan is not here today, but Jessica will be filling in. So, Jessica?
Hello, everyone. Please bear with me while I try to get Nathan's ideas, thoughts, and concerns across.
No. You want the next one?
Yeah. Here's a breakdown of the 17-18 data as of yesterday, 1/9. Our year-to-date statewide totals are total enrollments, 375. We have 191 still enrolled. We have 31 dropped, which is more than double from a month ago. So in case you're not aware, that is not the column that we want doubling. We have 153 completed and 109 certifications. There are a handful of students, approximately 20, that are not listed on the data spreadsheet as they are not tied to a grantee within the Work Indiana portal. And in a moment, I will explain how that can be corrected. There are more than 29 students listed as still enrolled for the 16-17 program year. As we are 6 months into the 17-18 program year, there should be no more remaining students still enrolled in 16-17. A quick reminder, Work Indiana has a goal of serving 1,800 students during the 17-18 program year. This total was designated by adding together the stated total students served provided in each grant. As we are halfway through this program year, Work Indiana should have 900 students enrolled, and unfortunately, we only have 375 enrolled, as the previous table showed. Enrollments within IDOC will begin to increase, which will help us with our overall enrollment, that every program is below their stated goal. Even with the second round of grant competition completed and award letters being sent out, it is absolutely essential that all programs dedicate time and effort into enrolling eligible students into Work Indiana training. The Work Indiana team will continue to review performance indicators for each grantee. As stated in the grant application and the award letter, it is within DWD's authority to reallocate funds during the grant period if the performance of a provider is determined to be unacceptable. And here is where those 20 students that are in the portal but not assigned to a specific grantee, this is where it can be corrected. On the top left-hand side of the Work Indiana portal screenshot, under region, you will see the grantee drop-down box. When entering in the student data, you must ensure that you are not only selecting the region, but also the grantee with which the student's data will be credited. Please review all of your Work Indiana students to ensure that they have been assigned their correct grantee. A very quick side note, under the program year cost, as it pertains to the 70-30 split, place 100% of the tuition cost in the box. The portal will automatically divide the cost into 70-30 splits. This is not a self-congratulatory slide. Thanks to me, the Work Indiana team has added 6 additional certifications / occupations to the Work Indiana offerings. You're welcome. Child Development Associate, CDA, Paraprofessional. Both of those are listed under the Teacher Assistant flyer on our website. Fiber Optics Installer, Information Technology Security, and Residential Electronics System Integrator. All 3 of those are with the certifying agent ETA International, and you can find those listed on the framework either under the Electronics Technician occupation or the Computer Specialist occupation. If you are interested in learning more on how to partner with ETA, please contact Michelle Lawson, the Marketing Coordinator with ETA, and her telephone number is provided. Additionally, new flyers will be available for each certifications for you to use in marketing these new opportunities. The Work Indiana policy has been posted and can be found at the website provided. As a reminder, Work Indiana data updates are due by the 10th of each month. Please ensure your student data is up to date and no errors have been made. If you have questions regarding the student data, please call myself or Nathan, or email. I don't have a telephone number, so you can email me, or email and call Nathan. As always, if you have any suggestions for new certifications, please do not hesitate to reach out to me and let us know about them. Nathan and I are continuing to reach out to the grantees to schedule visits to your sites. We have visited a couple of sites so far, but are looking forward to meeting with each of you. And that is Nathan's email and cell phone number. Mine is not provided, but it is jgray, Gray, 1 at dwd.in.gov. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Great job.
I agree. Good job.
Let's move on to our friends from Youth Initiatives. They're not here this morning, but have provided a report that I will go over with you. There have been several major JAG developments since we last met, but perhaps none as large as Governor Eric Holcomb showing his support for the program by being named the JAG National Chair. He will hold the position for 3 years. This announcement was made at the annual JAG National Student Leadership Academy in Washington, D.C. in November. More governors serve on the JAG National Board than any other board in the nation, and we're thrilled to have Governor Holcomb leading it. He is the third Indiana governor to be on the board, but the first to be named as the national chair. Former Governors Daniels and Pence also served on the board. Also, 19 JAG Indiana students traveled to D.C. to participate in NSLA. Students and staff attend NSLA to compete in events, connect with JAG peers across the country, and tour local landmarks. It also provides an opportunity for JAG staff to learn about important policies, provides networking opportunities, and strengthens the bond between state JAG staff and the JAG national team. JAG training season is year-round. Recently, our Master JAG specialists led their first training event for staff who had been with the program for at least 6 months, but wanted to take some additional training. Our next staff training will be for new staff as we continue to support the rollout of our expansion schools and their staffs. Be on the lookout for questions these new staff may have regarding potential entry of students into the Work Indiana program. We are officially entering Regional CDC season. It will kick off with Region 7 event on January 19th and end in early February. Thank you to any adult education staff that may have been asked to judge at the Regional CDC. Also, mark your calendars for the annual state CDC, which will again take place at the Ivy Tech Culinary Center here in Indianapolis. It will be March 16th, and thank you in advance to any staff who have agreed to participate as a judge. This is always one of the most exciting events of the year. Each month, we do a Young Adult Services report. To date, we have over 3,700 youth currently on caseloads across the state working with staff to enhance their opportunities. And thank you for that report. Moving to IAACE. It's hard to believe that the IAACE conference is just around the corner. The deadline for presenters is Monday, and you can see the list of presentation categories on your screen. Visit the IAACE website to submit your presentation proposals. IAACE conference registrations open this month. Registration fees are $199 for members, $299 for non-members. Award nominations will open soon as well. Start thinking about a colleague, partner, or a learner who has gone above and beyond the call of duty. IAACE also has 5 open positions. Member nominations will be coming soon. Open positions include president-elect, treasurer, and 3 board members. And just as a reminder, IAACE members have free access to the 2017 COABE Virtual Conference until April. There are 18 sessions to choose from. Email IAACE for instructions. Are there any questions? Since there are no other questions, I want to remind you that our next statewide webinar is February 14th. Make sure to put this date and time on your calendar. And also, for all the gentlemen around this table and for all the gentlemen listening, I've been reminded at home, because gentlemen tend to forget,